Beauty Junkie, welcome to my channel. Today I'm getting into the new Goss Weightless Veil Blush Palette in Desert Blossom. This guy right here, super pretty. I also picked up one of the new shades from Goss's Luxury Cream Lipstick. So this is Iris. So I'm also gonna try that today. I'll do some swatches, a quick little application, a review. I'll share my thoughts, and so let's get into it. So he came out with 2 new blush palettes and 2 new lipsticks. I just picked the ones that I felt I would like. So I didn't pick up both. Apologies, I can't show you the other palette. I wanted the more pink leaning highlighter, and it's more of a peachy pink. We'll get into that, but this palette is just like all his other blush palettes, or if you are familiar with his bronzer palettes, the same size. Deep brown packaging, has all of the helpful information on the back. So in this palette, and it has of course the gorgeous mirror. The unfortunate thing with consistent packaging is you always have to read the back to know what you're picking up. But this shade here is Nectar and Petal. So Nectar, just looking at it up close here, I would say it's a pretty peachy, light peachy color. I'm trying to think about the other blush colors he has available. This blush palette and the other one, Sweet Wildflower, I'll go ahead and put up a picture of that. To me, it's more of a deeper, maybe more of a tan leaning blush in that one and more of a golden highlight. I wanted to do something a little bit lighter, maybe better for my skin tone. That was just my impression, haven't tried it yet. But these 2 palettes that he came out with are probably the most wearable, the most neutral. Probably colors are probably going to work for a lot of people, because the original 4 blush palettes he came out with, I would say, are on the bolder side, still really pretty. So Coral Rose, that one, of course, a coral shade. It's probably a little bit more subdued than the other palettes that he came out with at first. And then Vivid Azalea, that one I actually have. It's gorgeous, I love it, but I do have to be careful about how much I apply of this really deep color. I think it's a unique palette, but I'm happy to see, honestly, these more wearable shades with his blushes, because I do like the formula with these palettes. They are expensive, so we're looking at $45 a piece for a blush and highlighter. I know some highlighters out there are expensive on their own, but you do kind of get to customize what you want to do with your blush. If you want to make it a little bit more sparkly, you can kind of customize, mix and match, or if you just want to do the blush on its own, highlighter separate on your face, that works too. So I like the combinations that he's come out with. It's just a matter of preference. Do you like the shades? Is $45 in your budget? You know, is this kind of makeup worth it to you? It's really up to you, but hopefully I can guide you in this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and put up the swatches of Desert Blossom. Those swatches, it's overcast today, so I filmed them. I took pictures near the window. It's not quite as bright as I want it to be, but it is what it is. Hopefully you'll get a better sense than some of the pictures you might see online. But this is a fairly peachy color. It's slightly pink. Sometimes peach colors work for me, sometimes they don't. So let's try this out. I have the Goss number 10 brush. So let's dip in. Let's see how pigmented this is. What I'm excited about, honestly, is I'll be able to comfortably dig in here without having to worry about, oh, did I put too much on my brush? That's the feeling I get when I dip in this one. I don't want to ever put too much on my brush of that color. So I'm going to go ahead and apply these. I have powder on my face right now, and foundation, concealer, all that. I'm seeing a really natural color, like I said, and I feel like I can actually layer this one and tip into the palette more than once and totally be fine and comfortable with it. So that's kind of a nice change with this Desert Blossom color, and especially this Nectar shade. It's really natural, really pretty. Gonna put a little bit on my forehead to kind of balance things out. But yeah, this is much more buildable than that Vivid Azalea color. What do you guys think so far? So that's like a couple of layers of the blush. So normally that's where I would stop with a blush, like in real life. I wouldn't dig in more than that. And hopefully you guys can see the tone of this. I think this is gonna be for fairly light skin tones, to be honest, and I'm not sure even medium skin tones, this is going to be a deep enough shade for you. You guys can see that on my fingertips. So this blush has a sheen to it. It is not a flat matte. Definitely, in my opinion, more of a sheen than the Vivid Azalea. This one is actually a little bit flatter satin. This is more of like a true satin blush. So that's interesting. You can see a little bit of a glow to it. I think this is pretty and definitely a very safe color. So I like that. I think I'll probably honestly get more use out of it than that other blush palette because it's just so workable and wearable and kind of goof proof. Now, if this isn't bold enough for you, as I said, I just showed you all his other bold colors. This might be a shade you're like, I have the shade in my collection already, or I can find the shade at a less expensive price. Totally get that. But I think you guys saw how easy it was to apply with a natural hair goat hair brush. While it's wearable, some of you may think that it's not super exciting. But if you like a satin sheen blush, I think this is a really nice option. Now let's get into this highlighter. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it separately as its own highlighter on the tops of the cheeks there. So I have the rougher number 20 brush and I'm gonna go into Petal, which is a light peachy pink highlighter. I know a lot of folks with lighter skin tones always worry about like how deep a highlighter is. Is it going to work for their skin tone? Is it going to be flattering? I think that's really up to you. I think some people might be nervous about the shade because it isn't super light. It's kind of a peachy pink tint to it. Maybe a really light kind of rose gold area. And if you're not comfortable with that, you want something really icy, this is probably not the highlighter to use on its own. And you might think of this more as, oh, I'm gonna mix this in with this blush only and not use it separately. So then like this palette is really more of a shimmery blush palette. So I wanted to note that if you guys are looking for something icy, this is not an icy highlighter, but you guys can see there, hopefully, and make a decision whether you think that's pretty, it's going to be flattering on you or not. I think it goes with the blush really well. And I think it's light enough for me, but that's all a matter of an opinion. I'm going to show you what this highlighter looks like on my finger, so you guys can see like a concentrated tone. As I said, like kind of a light rose gold, a little bit peachy, a little bit pink. So there is that. Now let's try to mix in a little bit of these two products together to see what a shimmering blush might look like. I do have some texture, so I don't love like a really all over super shimmery cheek. So I probably wouldn't do that. I normally would separate the highlight and the blush, but we have a lot going on there now. I am very sparkly. But I think this is a pretty combination. I think, you know, if you were to look on the website, look at all the blush palettes, I think these are probably going to be the most appealing, these two new ones, to the most people, to be honest. So there you have it. That's the application of the Desert Blossom. Right, let's get into this new lipstick color, Iris. A little bit nervous about this because it's on the deeper side, but I thought it would be fun to try a new lipstick shade from him. I currently only have one other lipstick in this luxury cream formula. I have the shade Lily, which I believe is one of his most popular. It's like a pink nude color. It's really pretty actually. So I'll do a comparison swatch here of Iris, which is more of a red, I don't know, brownish red. So you guys can compare that. I'm not going to use any lip liner. I'm just going to put this straight on. So even with like one swipe, there's a lot of pigment, a lot of saturation there. That is a pretty shade. I'm using the right one. It's actually not as deep as I thought it would be just doing one swipe. I like the tone of it right now, but let's do another swipe. It's actually really pretty. I'm glad I picked this up. So this formula is a cream formula for sure. It's not matte, it's not semi-matte. So you get a good amount of sheen. These kind of lipsticks are not going to be long lasting because they have that moisture in there, so it does transfer if you eat or drink or anything like that. But it's a really comfortable formula, and I think his lipsticks are really nicely priced. They're not too expensive for what they are, and I like the color of this a lot, to be honest. I know there's a lot of nude lipsticks out there, but it's all about the nuance in the shade. I'm glad I picked up Iris. It's really pretty. I do think it goes well with the blush. I'm seeing a lot more pink come out of this blush when I'm looking over to the side in this mirror. So it's not just peach there, and adding that highlighter brings out the pink in the blush. Do I think they're worth picking up? This is a really nice formula if you want to pick up a blush palette for the first time in this collection and you're not so much into bold makeup. You just like really wearable makeup and you want to really use your products and you don't want a color that's going to be more of a special occasion or more of a rare use blush. Like this one for me, I don't use that often because it's so bold. This one's going to be a lot more everyday wearable. You'll get a lot of use out of it. But I will say it's a matte. I would say I wouldn't pick this up if you don't feel like you're going to use the highlighter because you don't like the shade, or you just don't like shimmery blushes, or you just don't even like highlighters. I wouldn't say it's worth it. I think you do really have to like both of these colors. I do like them. I don't have a problem with the tone of these, but if you don't like a rose gold highlighter, you have light skin like me, I would say this probably won't work for you if it's not light enough for you. Now, if you like this blush color and you're a medium or deeper skin tone, I'm not sure how well it's gonna show up on you. Depends on the tone of your skin. I have several layers on here, but this is not like a super bright, like one layer and you're done. I would say you need like a couple of layers of this to really make it pop and show up. So while it's really natural and easy to use, I think this is probably more limited to lighter skin tones. So just wanted to make a note of that. Do I recommend it? I don't know. These shades probably exist, especially this blush, probably exists somewhere else, maybe already in your collection. So take a good review of what you have and see, do I really need this or not? The lipstick, I really like this shade. If you've never tried Wayne Goss's formula, I mean, both of these colors are really nice. Lily's a little bit lighter, Iris a little bit deeper. Maybe this is daytime, this is nighttime. If you're picking up a blush you're in the mood for a new lipstick, I think these are no-brainers. They're really easy to use. I like the formulas. But is this shade probably that unique? Probably, I mean, probably not, but it's just a matter if you like his formula. So I would try it out. Try out one lipstick, something that appeals to you. But that's it on the review of these two new products. Are you guys interested in Wayne Goss? I know his products are a little bit more difficult to come by because only so many places sell it. But if you guys are interested in me continuing to review Wayne Goss's products, please comment below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.